is going on, everybody? It is your boy Arrows here, and we are back with more Pokemon content. This time we are talking about the two big regionals that just happened this past weekend. We, of course, are talking about the Frankfurt regionals and the regional in Monterrey. Probably mispronounced that, right? I mispronounced that. I apologize. It happens a lot. So I think the big takeaway for this is that the top 16 was actually like kind of wild. The top 16 for Frankfurt was like kind of wild. Like it's actually such a very there was a lot of Terra Box. So like in this top 16 there was 3 Terra Box, 4 Dragapult variants, 1 Greninja, which made me very, very happy. I love Greninja. Frost, we had a Grimmsnarl Frostlass. I actually watched Mike Ellis play one of his matches on Saturday. I was watching it while I was at work, and oh my god, such a great game. Raging Bull Ogerpon made me really excited because we just built that. 1 Goldengo, which is crazy. And 1, 2, 3 Gardevoirs, and of course Joltik Box coming in the 5th place. I think I covered it. And this crazy Conkeldurr deck. Before we talk about anything else, we need to look at this Conkeldurr list. This deck is insane. So Conkeldurr has the ability Gutsy Swing, the attack Gutsy Swing that would normally cost 1 fighting and 3 colorless. But if Conkeldurr is affected by a special condition, Conkeldurr can attack for free, which is insane. So for free, you can use Gutsy Swing and hit a free 250. Like, that is wild to me. I love everything about this. And of course, we have the Brute Bonnet here giving us the ability to poison our Conkeldurr as long as it has an Ancient Booster Energy capsule attached to it. You may poison both active Pokemon. So right off the bat, we're poisoning our opponent, which they're going to take a damage in between turns, and then we're smacking them for free with 250 damage. This deck, I was watching some of the games, like I was watching like Twitter and checking out like some of the people talking about this deck. It is insane. And of course, we have the Dunsparce. For draw power, once during your turn, you may draw 3 cards. If you draw any cards in this way, you shuffle this card back into your deck and all cards attached to it. We have our Timbers, our Girders, 2 Fan Rotons because it fetches your Dunsparces. It gets your Pidgey going. So it's just a really good card. 3 Brute Bonnet, 1 Pidgey, 1 Pidgeot, and 1 Blood Moon Ursaluna to come up and clean up games if your opponent is ahead of prizes. 4 Hildas. This card is amazing. It is such a great card. I have a bunch ordered to build stuff with it. Search your deck for an evolution and then energy and attach it to and put them in your hand. Energy. Just an energy. Not a basic energy, just an energy. Fantastic. 2 bosses orders, because obviously if we're smacking things for 250 damage for free, we want to be KOing stuff so we can bring up some setup Pokemon, some weaker Pokemon like Mew EX, and one-shot that with our Gutsy Swing. 2 Arven. Arven is honestly, in my opinion, one of the, if not the best supporters in the game right now, with its ability to search you any item and any tool. Just a really, really good card. 2 Colress Tenacities, searching for a stadium and an energy, put them in our hands. Another really, really good card. We're, of course, going to go get either Artisan or Gravity Mountain. Gravity Mountain gives stage 2 Pokemon, both ours and our opponents, an additional 30 HP, making our Conkeldurr boy 210, swinging for 250, which is wild. Artisan is really good for getting us our basic Pokemon. They're running 3 Binding Mochi. I love this card. It's very searchable with Arven. I actually just like straight up love this card. What this card is it's an attack boosting item if your Pokemon is poisoned. So it does 40 more damage. So right off the bat, you're going to do 290 damage with this Conkeldurr with the Binding Mochi attached to it because you're poisoned, which is just amazing. 1 Sacred Ash lets us shuffle Pokemon from our discard pile back into our deck. Just a really good card. 4 Ultra Ball, best generic search card in the game for Pokemon. 4 Candies because we want to get into that Conkeldurr and that Pidgeot EX super quickly. 4 Buddy Buddy Poffins because Buddy Buddy Poffins is just really good. 3 Jet Energies and 1 Enriching Energy. When you attach this energy from your hand to your Pokemon, you draw 4 cards. So this deck is all about drawing lots of cards, getting into your stuff really quickly, and then going on the swing, the gutsy swing, before your opponent is able to really get going. And we do that with Arven. We do that with Hilda. We do that with Tenacity. We do that by getting into our Pidgeot really quickly, and then we just swing for the fences with Conkeldurr. Arven is also super important here because it also gets us into our Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. The Ancient Pokemon this card is attached to gets plus 60 HP and recovers from all special conditions and can't be affected by special conditions. So obviously, we're running 3 just for our Brute Bonnet, so that's all we need them for. We want to be poisoning these Conkeldurrs as soon as we're ready to go with them. Free energy is free energy. Jet Energy is a fantastic energy here. Even though you don't need to attach energy to Conkeldurr to attack with it, you can attach energy to this card on your bench Conkeldurrs to get them in the active spot, and your opponent's trying to work around getting some extra turns to breathe because you're hitting them so very, very hard with Conkeldurr. This is literally what I would call like a Pokemon style of a Voltron Magic deck, pumping everything into one massive swing and doing amazing stuff with this. This deck also took first place in the junior division of the Frankfurt Regionals, which is crazy, but of coming in 13th place in a sea of Gardevoir, Dragapult, which does a lot to this deck, and just all of that great stuff is just fantastic. Huge shout out to Benjamin Gorgos, and Matty H for piloting this deck so very, very well. But other than that, we have our normal stuff. The winning deck list was Gardevoir, and on Sunday I was able to watch the finals of this match. I was able to watch Rune versus Tord, and oh my gosh, what a great series of matches. And it went 3 games. The third game was a little underwhelming compared to the first 2, but the first 2 were so good and just excellent examples of the masterclass that is the Pokemon trading card game. This is just your standard Gardevoir list right now. We have our 3 Raltses, our 2 Curlias, our 2 Gardevoir EXs, 3 Monkey Dories. We love the monkey. 1 Screamtail, 1 Lily's Clefairy, 1 Mew, 1 Pheasantipede. This is your out to Dragapult. This will enable this to one-shot it, but it also enables this to one-shot it with its own attack and spread some more damage, which is super good. Pheasantipede to draw cards. We have 4 Research, 4 Iono, only 2 Arven, which I think is really, really cool. But we are also running our secret box. This is arguably one of the best ace specs in the game right now. It enables you to discard 3 cards from your hand in order to use it, and then you can search your deck for an item, a tool, a stadium, and a supporter, and put them in your hand. Really, really good card. Being able to fetch this off of an Arven is fantastic, because then you can really set yourself up for the turns ahead. 4 Earthen Vessels. We want to be discarding cards. We want to be getting Psychic Energies, Dark Energies to attach to our Monkey Dories. 4 Ultra Balls. In this case, Psychic Energy is the perfect discard for Ultra Ball in this deck. 2 Nest Balls, our Monkey Dory, and our... I just realized this deck is not running anybody Buddy Poffins. That's wild. Okay, 2 Nest Balls gets us pretty much whatever we want, combined with 2 Artisans to search out whatever else we need. 3 Bravery Charms. This is really good. This keeps Mew out of Dragapult knockout range. This keeps Lily's Clefairy out of Dragapult knockout range. This lets us get maximum damage output from our Screamtail. Just a very good card. Very, very good card. 2 Nest Balls, 2 Candies, 2 Stretchers to get our stuff back, 2 Counter Catchers. Gardevoir is a deck that is not generally taking prizes super early, so you are going to be able to maximize your use of Counter Catcher, because you're going to be behind on prizes 90% of the time. We talk about Secret Box Super Rod to shuffle stuff back in, like our Lily's Clefairy, to research it out with our Artisan or our Nest Ball. This is one of our key early attackers, because our Screamtail, not our Lily's Clefairy. This is going to be one of our great early attackers, because it is going to be able to take stuff off the bench, stuff like Dreepies. If we can move damage over onto an opponent's Badoo and take it out, we can take out stuff on the bench as well with Screamtail. Just a really, really, really good deck. This deck is Gardevoir was definitely the star of this weekend because not only did it win Frankfurt, it was also the first and second place deck in Monterrey as well. I believe the lists are pretty similar. Yes, the lists are pretty much identical to each other. Was the second place list the same? Yes, the lists are pretty much identical to each other. This is definitely the way to be playing Gardevoir right now if you're playing it. And honestly, why wouldn't you be playing it? Gardevoir has pretty good matchups into a lot of the decks. You would think that with Marnie's Grimmsnarl and Charizard running around, as well as, Dragapult is a really good deck. You figure Gardevoir would struggle a little bit. The only deck that Gardevoir really, 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 really struggles with, I'm not 100% sure on its Raging Bolt match because I've never actually watched that, is it struggles into its Goldango match. But as you can see, the top 16 of Monterrey had no Goldango. And then the Frankfurt regional top 16 only had one Goldango. So Gardevoir pretty much dodged Goldango for a lot of the tournament. I do want to look at Tord's deck because not a lot of, for this reason right here, not a lot of people are running rare candy in their Dusknoir decks. They're generally just running the 4-4-3 for their Dragapult line, which because Dracoloak is amazing. It's recon directive, letting you look at the top two cards of your deck, adding one to your hand, putting one on the bottom of the deck. Fantastic card. I love when stage 2s have really amazing stage 1s that you want to play in max copies. Gardevoir is a strong example of that. You want to be running back when we had the trade-in Curlia, you wanted to be running, not trade-in, was it trade-in? Yeah, it was trade-in. You wanted to be running 4 of those because you wanted to evolve, draw a lot of cards, put a lot of psychic energies in the discard pile, and then evolve into your Gardevoirs and start taking prizes. So I really enjoyed Tord's list. Neo Upper Energy, such a good card. He did have some unfortunate prizing issues in the last match, but this is like such a good card. It is essentially a double Rainbow Energy for stage 2 Pokemon, which is just fantastic. 2 Luminous, 2 Psychics, 1 Fire. This is obviously because we can work around that with the Luminuses and the Neo Upper. 6 energy, as an old school player, that is like crazy to me, but obviously it works. Tord is one of the best players in this TCG for a reason. I loved his list. I loved his Dragapult Dusknoir list. I thought it was really, really cool. And I also want to look at the 4th place Dragapult list. This was piloted by Fabian Pujo. I'm going to mispronounce that. Fabian piloted the deck really, really well. It runs Blaziken EX. I love Blaziken. It's not my favorite 3rd gen Pokemon, but it is generally the starter option I take when I play 3rd gen games. Once during your turn, you may attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. This is really good, and it enables you to really get away with running like these limited amounts of energies. Like this deck was running 1 Luminous, 2 Darkness, 2 Psychics, and 2 Fire, because you can easily get those back onto your field with your Combustion. So that lets you run like cool cards like the Toxic Subjugation Pecharon. It enabled you to run cool cards like this Elgym. It enabled you to run really, really cool stuff in this deck. A lot of like really cool options like the Pecharon. We got to run Monkey Dories in this deck, which really played into a lot of the games. 4 Arven, 4 Iono, 2 Research, 2 Bosses. I love 2 Bosses. When people play 1 boss, I'm really like thrown off on that. I just can't imagine it. Professor Tauros, Ultra Ball, Buddy Poffin, 2 Rare Candy, 2 Catchers, Counter Catcher, 1 Rod, 1 Night Stretcher, 1 Pal Pad, 1 Earthen Vessel, 1 Box, 1 Air Balloon. I'm so happy this is back in the format. 1 Evolution. We love Evolution in these decks because you're going to be able to go right into potentially 2 of your Dracoloaks, or a Dracoloak and a Combuskin, to then go into Dragapult and Blaziken. Just a really good combination of cards. And 1 Artisan. The other deck that had a huge showing at both of these events is Terra Box. Now, I'm just getting back into Pokemon, so this is a deck that I am not familiar with, but it was definitely a pleasure to watch it on stream over the weekends. This deck reminds me of um something that you would have seen back in like when fairy Pokemon first came out, in like the Aromatisse era of Pokemon, where you had like the Plasma Aromatisse deck that had the Team Plasma Thunderous using its one energy attack to put the special energy that are rainbow energy back onto the field, and then using Aromatisse to maneuver them around, because they would then technically be fairy, to attack into stuff that you're weak to. I really like that idea. Also, that's why I kind of like Armarouge Ho-Oh, because it follows that like same like scenario where you're just using one attackers that do a lot of damage, or attackers that have like one energy. Where's a good example? That's a bad example. That's also a bad example. Or you're using attackers that have one energy of their typing and then two colorless energy to just really start doing some crazy stuff. So I love this deck, A, because of that, and B, because it gets to run Noctowl. We love Noctowl here. Noctowl is one of my favorite Pokemon, like, of all time. I love Noctowl. I think it's just a great Pokemon. I use it in all of my Gen 2 runs. Just a really good. It has the ability Jewel Seeker. During your turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand, to evolve one of your Pokemon on your bench. Well, to evolve one of your Pokemon. If you have any Terra Pokemon in play, this deck runs 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So 5. So you're almost always going to have a Terra Pokemon out early to play it. You can search your deck for any 2 trainer cards and add to your hand. This is Shady Dealings, but better. I love it. We have the 2 Fan Rotoms, which searches out 4, 8, 9 cards in your deck, which is just amazing. Teal Mask Ogerpon to accelerate energy, draw cards. Wellspring Mask Ogerpon is just a really good early attack with Saw, making your opponent unable to retreat. And then if you want, you can Torrential Pump to take out some threats on the bench, shuffle everything back in. Ditto, this becomes any Pokemon that you want when it's in the active spot on your first turn. This thing is annoying. I hate playing against it. Oh, sorry, I did not do the math. 1, 2. No, I did 5. No, I did the math right. Teal Mask Ogerpon we talked about. Discard. We attach basic energy, draw a card. And we can also do some serious damage with Myriad Leaf Shower. Terrapagos EX is just really, really good as a cleanup hitter, because we are going to be able to play 8 Pokemon on our side of the field with our Area 0 under depths. Iron Leaves is really good. It lets you switch your active Pokemon with when you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may switch it with your active Pokemon. If you do, you may move any amount of energies from the active Pokemon to this Pokemon. So the old active Pokemon to this Pokemon. So you can bring it up, hit something for 180. It's grass, so it's going to play really well into Charizard, and I believe Marnie's Grimmsnarl is weak to grass too. Yes, it's going to play well into Charizard and Grimmsnarl. Lily's Clefairy enables your Mew EX, your Latias EX if you want to, or even hell, even your Lily's Clefairy to smack into Dragapult really, really hard. Pheasantipede to draw cards. Blood Moon Ursaluna is going to be clutch in the later stages if your opponent's taking a lot of prizes. You're going to be able to hit stuff really, really hard for free. Pretty much free. Latias gives us free retreat. Mew is just a good draw, and it's also really good into the Dragapult match. We have Iron Bundle to make our opponents bring something up for us to KO. For Crispin, a deck like this definitely needs a card like Crispin. It enables you to search your deck for 2 energies of different types. You can attach one to one of your Pokemon and put one into your hand. Very good card. 2 Boss's Orders, because we want to be able to KO stuff. Turo Scenario is really good if we're stuck in the active position by an opposing Sob. Or what is the one that Maractus used? But it's the same thing. I think it's Clutch to keep us in the active spot so we can't retreat. 1 Professor's Research. 1 Briar. I actually really like this because in a lot of your opening hands, you're not going to want to discard a lot of the stuff. So having a smaller amount of these is just really good. You're also going to be drawing cards with Mew. You're going to be searching out stuff with Noctowls, and you're going to be able to accelerate in other ways, like get cards in your hand in other ways. I like this. Briar. You can only use this if your opponent has exactly 2 prizes remaining. Once during this turn, if your opponent is knocked out by damage from an attack by your Terra Pokemon, take 1 more prize. This is really good if we're in like 2 prizes, and we can bring up something that's normally a 1 prizer, and then we can take it out with a Terra Pokemon. It's going to get us 2 prizes in the game. 4 Nest Ball, 4 Ultra Ball, 1 Energy Switch, 1 counter catcher, 1 night stretcher, 1 super rod, 1 earthen vessel. I could almost build this. 1 buddy buddy poffin. This will let us get our hoot hoots out. And I guess also our iron bundle? No, just our hoot hoots. And our ditto. Hoot hoots and our ditto. I mean, I guess technically our fan rotoms too. 1 air balloon, 1 sparkling crystal. This is a really good card. When the Terra Pokemon this card is attached to uses an attack, the attack costs 1 energy less. So you can recycle this too by attaching it to Wellspring Ogerpon, using a Torrential Pump, doing the 120, and then shuffling everything back in, shuffling the energy to this Pokemon back in your deck. You can do it for 2 energies instead of 3, and keep the Sparkling Crystal. Really good card. And then we have our 3 Area 0 Underdepths. For energy, we're running 3 Grass for our Teal Mask Ogerpon, 2 Psychics, 2 Lightning, 1 Metal, 1 Water. We need the Water for Wellspring. We need the Metal, the Grass, and the Lightning for Pikachu. Really good card. I don't know that this version's not running End's Plan. I have seen other versions of the deck running End's Plan, which lets us get into stop. Running End's. I don't think any of the ones here were running End. What about in Frank? Okay, so nobody's running End's Plan. End's Plan lets you attach all of your energy, lets you move around energy for the turn any way you please. I'm pretty sure I might have read that wrong. Oh. Apparently I'm just... There we go. Nope, that just gives me N. Why? Whatever. End's Plan is a really good card. That's right. We show you guys the mess ups here. The other decks we can talk about are the Joltik box. This is again very similar to Terra Box. We're using Joltik to attach a ton of energies to either our 2 Pikachu EXs or our Iron Hands, and we're going in for mass damage. We're using Genesect to stop our opponents from playing A-Spec cards. Pheasantipity, Latias, Mew, a lot of stuff that's here from Terra Box as well, but this is obviously more focused in on hitting for maximum damage with Pikachus. This is, of course, we are running Arvin, Crispin, Boss's Orders, Iono, Nest Ball, 4 Pokegears because we want to get into these as soon as possible. Prime Catcher, this is a really good A-Spec in decks like this that want to take one card, that want to hit one hit KOs, because we are enabling it to... we're enabling our Pikachu to come in and take out something almost guaranteed. Super Rod, Earthen Vessel, Bravery Charm, Air Balloon, Future Energy Capsule. This lets our attacks do 20 extra damage. So if we put this on our Iron Leaves EX, it's going to do 180. Put this on our Iron Hands EX, it's going to do 200. Can't do math. If we put it on our Iron Hands EX, it's going to do 140 with Amp You very much, which is really good for the numbers. Just a really good deck all around. I also really like this. I can almost build this as well, which is kind of wild. 5 lightning, 5 grass, 2 metal, 1 psychic. Obviously, we need the 1 psychic if we want to attack with our Lily's Fairy. If we want to smack it into something, I don't think anything else in here runs psychics. Pretty much. Yes, we want to hit same thing with the Lily's Clefairy and the Mew. If we want to smack into Dragapult really, really hard, this is how we do it. And I think the last deck we'll look at is the Greninja list, because I love Greninja. So it's 3 Froakies, 1 Frogadier, and 2 of the Terra Greninja EX. Really good card. It has 310 HP. It's a fighting type. So it's weak to Psychic. For 1 energy, Shinobi Blade does 170 damage, which is amazing damage for 1 energy. Searches your deck for a card to put in your hand, and then Mirage Barrage, I'm saying that 5 times fast, will let you do 120 damage to your opponents, to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon for a water and 2 colors. We're of course running our Pidgeot line because we want to evolve. We want to be able to search out anything we want. Dusclops, Dust Noir is just really good for piling up that damage. Automatically popping off one of these will automatically trigger our counter catcher, which lets us bring something up for a KO. 3 Arvins, 2 Boss, 2 Colress's Tenacity, because we want these. Specifically, we want this Grand Tree. Once during each player's turn, that player may search their deck for a stage 1 Pokemon that evolves from one of their basic Pokemon and put it onto that Pokemon to evolve it. If that Pokemon was evolved in this way, that player may search their deck for a stage 2 Pokemon that evolves from that Pokemon and play it on to that Pokemon to evolve it. So this lets you speed evolve, which is wild. Players can't evolve basic Pokemon during their first turn or a basic Pokemon that was put into play this turn. So if you started off with this, when it comes back to your next turn, you can do crazy stuff. We have our Air Balloon. We have Jamming Tower. This shuts off Pokemon tools. We're only running 1 Air Balloon in this deck, so we don't really care about our tools. Greninja has 1 retreat. That's not the end of the world, but Badoo has free retreat, so we need to pivot on a knockout. We can just bring up Badoo and do stuff. 4 Rare Candy, 4 Ultra Ball, 2 Night Stretcher, 2 Super Rod, 1 Counter Catcher, 1 Palpad. We want to be able to shuffle this stuff back into our deck. Reuse. What is? Oh yeah, the Grand Tree. 3 Ignition Energy. This gives us a big hit out of nowhere, because it will cover the 3. When it's attached to a Pokemon, it's 1 energy. When it's attached to an evolution Pokemon, it's 3 energies. It gets discarded at the end of the turn. 4 water. Gives us a lot of options. We could even attack with that Pidgeot if we want to. I don't know why we would. Or also, no, it wouldn't do work. But yeah, I really like this deck. 11th place is nothing to sneeze at in a format where Gardevoir is very heavily played. Taking in something that is weak to fight, that is weak to Psychic, is kind of amazing. Charizard, Pidgeot, pretty generic stuff. I think that covers about everything. Yeah. So that was the result. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by the number of Dragapult variants in the top 16 of these. Between both tournaments, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 variants of Dragapult in the top 16s put together, which is not surprising at all. Dragapult is a really good deck. You only need 2 Phantom Dives to really win the game. But Gardevoir is still winning. Is kind of crazy. It won Worlds. It won NAIC. It took 2nd place at NAIC as well. And then it took both Frankfurt and Monterrey with 2 showings with the top 2 in Monterrey. But what do you guys think? How do you guys think this will be affected going into Mega Evolution? Do you guys think that the meta is going to stay the same? Do you think Gardevoir remains relevant, or do you think new, faster Mega Evolutions like Mega Manectric, Mega Lucario are going to swing the favor back to away from Gardevoir being the top deck of the format? Do you think Dragapult survives? How do you think Terrabox is going to do? Let me know what you guys think. Goldengo is still a viable option going into the new format, even though it didn't really place a lot of top 16s. It is still a really, really good deck that can hit really, really hard. But let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like the notification. Don't forget to like the video, ding the notification bell if you want to be alerted to when we post any new Pokemon or Lorcana. There is more Lorcana content coming, I promise. If you want to be alerted to any of this content coming out in the next little bit, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Don't forget to check me out on Twitch, Arrows TCG. In like 2 weeks, we are going to be starting our TCG Nuzlocke, which is going to be really, really fun. I'm really excited for that. TCG Nuzlocke to the top. It's going to be awesome. Stay safe out there, my friends. Play some card games. And as always, I will see you when I see you. Bye.